Quincy police have arrested a man accused of exposing himself to juveniles. 42-year-old James Clary is charged with 2 incidents of sexual exploitation of a child and a charge of harmful material. He was stopped this afternoon at 9th and Broadway. Police received several reports of incidents happening throughout the city during the past 2 weeks. Police were asking the public to be on the lookout for a red Kia Soul. They say Clary would wait for kids to walk by his vehicle and then start a conversation with them. Authorities say it's a good reminder for parents to talk to their kids about stranger danger.
As far as what parents need to be talking to children about, especially those kids like leaving the bus stops, walking home from school, or even weekends where they're just out walking with friends, to always be cognizant of vehicles stopped in their path. And the old stranger danger, don't talk to strangers.
Clary is a registered sex offender. He will appear in court tomorrow, and more charges could be added pending further investigation.